Hey guys, how's everybody doing? This is Ethan from Ethan's Crazy Eights. I'm here with another redo, another enclosure redo, this time with my Arizona Ebony Tarantula, one of my new ones. The scientific name starts with a phonopelma, and then the rest of it starts with an E, but I have no idea how to pronounce it, so we're just gonna get right into this. So I'm using a mixture of different things. I'm gonna use like a mix of topsoil and some other stuff as a base, and then the rest of it will be with Marshall Arachnid's arid substrate. Marshall Arachnids, you guys can find him pretty much anywhere. Facebook, just look him up. He's got really great substrate as far as like bioactive stuff goes. Desert substrate for plants and tropical stuff. It's really good stuff, and that's what I'll be using today. It's a mix of like red clay, sand, charcoal, mulch. It's good stuff. But first, let's get this topsoil in here. I'm not sure how this is gonna go, but we're gonna try and get this in here. Actually, I'm just gonna scoop this in. I'm gonna scoop that in. That'll be a lot easier. We'll just do that. Okay. Let's see here. I can use this. Alright. Now, topsoil is a good choice for just like if you're looking for like cheap substrate for tarantulas, just regular topsoil. Most of it's usually around like $2 or $3. But most of the time, yeah, it's pretty cheap. You could also mix like play sand in there or just sand to help with drainage. But what I'm adding will have sand in it anyway. Well, the other substrate will, but right now this is just topsoil mixed with like some Josh's Frog stuff. But yeah, this will be a base. And then we'll mix the other stuff in. Now, topsoil on its own, depending on what the ventilation is, it may mold like a little bit, so just make sure you want to mix sand in there, so that way everything drains well. And now, the Arizona Ebony Tarantula looks fairly similar to the Desert Blonde Tarantula, except the colors on it are a little more pale, I guess, a little whiter, or they have that like ebony color, I guess that's why they called it that. It lives in pretty much the same areas, California, I think like California, Texas, or Arizona, mainly in California and Arizona, hence the name. But just like any other desert tarantula, they like a relatively dry substrate. You can do like waterings here and there, but not very often because they don't really like a high humidity. Like you can simulate rainfall, but like I said, not all the time. And if you are planning to go bioactive or pair your desert tarantulas, then it's good to have that monsoon season to help increase their activity with that kind of stuff. Oh yes, that's good. Remind myself to wash my hands after this, even with dirt. And this stuff's been sitting for a while. I've almost forgot that I had this topsoil, but now I'm putting it to use today. Okay, it's also a tad bit heavy, so yeah, that's good. We can stop with the topsoil there. We'll start adding the other stuff now. Now I'm adding Megamix. It's called Megamix Basic. It's kind of like the arid and tropical mix, except like the like fancy stuff's been taken away. Now it's just like straight like dirt and sand. But nonetheless, it's good stuff. It's a mix of like compost. Obviously not like like new or anything. Just compost that the guy from Marshall Arachnids. His name's Ryan Marshall. He takes it, I'm not sure how he washes it, but he bakes it in the oven for like an hour at like 200 degrees. Depending on where you are outside, if it's in like a non-polluted area, you don't necessarily have to do that. But if you want, just be on the safe side, it's good to just be safe. Because even with no pesticides, there's always a chance with other stuff being in there, but if it's like springtails or isopods, then you're good. Alright, I'm gonna start adding in the desert stuff now. It's not the substrate's fine. It's just if it's not, there's no sand and like dry stuff mixed in there, it may have the potential to mold. So we're gonna do that. All right, let's add in the desert stuff just so we get a good mix of everything. It's good to mix this stuff together. That way there will be a good amount of drainage. Now, she may not like it at first. She may like roam around the enclosure for a little bit, which is normal. And just take some time to get used to the substrate. If it is like a little damp, they may stay on the side for a little bit, but it'll just take a little bit for it to air out. More. Might be overdoing it, but it's fine. Sometimes with tarantulas you gotta overdo things as long as it doesn't end up hurting the tarantula. Sometimes overdoing things is with the enclosure, really. Just adding too much sometimes. I don't really know what I'm saying. There's never too much substrate that you can add, as long as like as long as everything fits in well, it's fine. All right, just want to try and get some of that sand mixed in the bottom areas too. I will be putting some succulents in here. I don't know the names, so once they're finally planted and shown on there, then someone else can try and take a guess. I know my tarantulas. I don't know my plants, really. Desert plants, at least. All right, make sure I get all that mixed in there well. Oops. See what I said before about possibly overdoing it? That was one of those times, but it's fine. Okay, now some of my tarantulas I actually, since I was talking to Marshall Arachnids about it, he recommended for some of like my tropical setups doing like using mini like 50-watt halogen lamps, and they're really great. I will put a link of them in my description on the video, and you guys can go and get them on Amazon. They have them for a good price, but they're attached to like a cord and a stand, and then there's they're attached to like I forget, like some kind of like metal, like aluminum like cord. But they're really great because tarantulas, people say they don't like light. I mean if they're able to hide from it, it's fine. Like there's no issue with it at all. Like if they have a place to hide, if they can get away from light, then it's all good. But the light acts like an artificial sun, because tarantulas are kind of like mini bearded dragons. They're basically little ectotherms. So it's nice to have it because it provides extra warmth in case they want it, and it also helps stop the enclosure from getting all musty and stagnant. It acts as an artificial sun, which is good. You just gotta, I would just recommend also getting a temp gun. Link will also be in the description for that, if you guys ever want to give that a try. It was not my idea. It was recommended to me by Ryan Marshall from Marshall Arachnids, and they've worked out for me ever since, so I will give that a try. Okay, we'll just add the rest of it. I know she'll probably dig most of this out and it'll be piled up against the door. And usually when tarantulas start digging, and if you put too much substrate in, and if they pile it up against the door like that, just take out the extra stuff that they dig out, and then like you can do whatever with it. Use it as extra substrate, do whatever with it. But yeah, most of the time, yeah, just do that. That way it'll just look a little better in there, and it won't be just like a glass box of dirt. Alright, just trying to get everything out. Alrighty. So now we're finally ready to put our stuff in. There we go. So I'm using a cork bark. Well, cork bark half hide or whatever. Just to bury it in there. It's good to actually kind of like try and like bury it in there. That way it's a lot easier to, and then you just dig out this and then you pile it on top. Exposure's going to be pretty heavy, but it's fine. I'll deal with it. Just going to dig that out. Just give them like it's good to give them a good starter burrow. That way they don't have to do a huge ton of work, because the sooner they can dig a burrow, the sooner they'll get comfortable with their surroundings. You don't want a stressed out tarantula, because a stressed out tarantula is it's just not a good tarantula. Like, you'll notice like they'll start getting bald spots in their abdomen, not just from kicking hairs, just getting stressed out. So yeah, you don't want that. So we're just gonna make a good spot in the bottom here. Just gonna pack that down. You want to pack down your substrate too, because it'll make it easier for the tarantula to burrow in it. All right. This one was originally on the bottom shelf, but I moved it next to my desert blonde because it made sense to put the two similar species together. And then I moved my Brachypelma smithy next to my curly hair, which used to be a Brachypelma, but now it's this name called Tolitocotyle. It's a scientific name, I understand, but it just doesn't really sound right. Brachypelma sounds right to me, because for me it sounds like bulky. So I still use that scientific name, but you guys can like use whatever. Tolitocotyle is the more accurate name now. It's the updated name, so I would use that. That's just Brachypelma is just more of like a personal preference for me. Alrighty, a little spot down there. Okay. There we go. Yeah, it looks good. Just pack it down a little center in there. Yeah, it looks good. Alrighty. Okie doke. Dig out a little bit more. Just to give it a nice big area down there to do its thing. Alrighty. Okay, now we can add in aesthetics. So we got our wood here. Yeah, let me adjust this. There you go. You guys can sort of see that now. There we are. Alright. Let's get that. And we'll put that right there. Okay. Set that up right there. And what we can do, we can take a little bit of this and then put it right there, just to help sculpt it in. Put that on the side there. Alright. Alright, looking good so far. Then we got this big wooden piece right here. Yeah, it looks alright. Okay. There we go, that works. Alright, and now let's get the plants in here. Put this one right here. I will add a water dish later. I just gotta find a good spot for it. Well, actually, you know what? I can probably make it right here. This will probably be fine. You gotta be careful where you put your water dish. You gotta try and predict like where they're gonna dig, because a lot of times they'll bury their water dish. It's a whole dilemma with tarantula keepers. Trying to be like, I'm gonna bury this right here. I'm like, oh, okay, fine. You can do that. And it just over time it just gets a little bit annoying, because you have to keep cleaning out all the time, and they keep just burying it in there. I'm trying to find a good angle for this piece of wood. Yeah, it looks all right. Yeah, we'll have it right there. That works. Okay. Let's get this. It's good to actually have the plant right on under the light here. So I got to keep adjusting this. All right. Set that one right there. This is some kind of jade plant. I don't know the plant. All I know is that's some kind of like, it's a type of succulent. I could be wrong though. But it's just good to get it well planted in there. Even though it's looking pretty impossible to do so. But sometimes you just gotta try and... Yeah, this is pretty difficult. There we go. There we don't go. We might not... Well, actually, let's not do that one. Yeah, this one's a lot easier, so we'll go with this one. There we are. And then that one can just be set right there. Or not. Come on. Try and get it in there the best I can. I've had some luck with these plants. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. You just gotta work with what you got. I'm hoping she does not walk all over these, because that would then be... That would be pretty... That'd be unfortunate. Especially if the plant does end up doing well. She webs all over it, but she's gonna do what she's gonna do. Can't do anything about it. I think this leaf... Yeah, this leaf broke off. Hang on, let me replant this. Alright. Let's get the stem in there. Let's get it well buried in there. Yeah, that'll look good. That'll look good. Just gotta get it. Come on. There we go. Over there we don't go. Sometimes these big pieces can kind of get in the way. But it's just good to get it well planted. There we are. Dang it, it didn't. Okay. Oh, apparently I suck at this. So let's try this one more time. The sooner you get planted in here, plant your feet, the sooner I can water you. So just do that. Come on now. Now with plants like these, best of the time, like you water them once and then you don't water for like a while. You gotta treat it like a desert most of the time. Just depends on what plant you decide to set up in there. There we go. Sorry for the long pauses. I'm just trying to get this thing in here. Dang it, it's not working. Alright, one last try. I'm gonna get this. Gonna do it. Alright, and now I think what I can do is I can use all this extra dirt to back it up. Back it up and then get it fully planted. It looks like it's working for the most part. There we go, that looks good. That looks a lot better. That'll work. At least I hope so. Well, that part broke off. Oopsies. I took some of these plants from my smithy enclosure because there's already a lot in there anyway. I didn't really need all those. So yeah, that'll work. Hang on, this one leaf's in there. Oh, this one leaf broke off. Oopsies. Alright, finally. There we go. Okay, finally in there. Alright. Let's get this other one going. This leaf off. Alright. And then, where should we put this one? Probably put this one right next to it. some dirt right on top of there. Now this substrate, it's called Megamix Arid. It's really great for succulents. Really great for dry plants. Well, just for like succulents in general, like with the like desert reptiles or just invertebrates. Just good stuff. Or just for succulents in general. If you're just one of those people who just keep succulents in their house, just a whole thing of succulent collector. Alright, and then I think what I'll sprinkle a little bit of this on here. That way it's blended in there. Alright, that looks good. Okay. So those are set in there. And then the more I water this, like when it needs to be watered, the more they'll be, you know, set in their spot, which is good. This one in there a little better. There we go. Get some more on the side here. Just to set it in there. Just get it set. Alright, and then we have the final plant, wherever the heck it is. Here it is. This is some kind of aloe plant. I haven't had much luck with it, but we'll try one more time with it, see how it does. And if it doesn't work out, then I have to try something else. With this one at least, or I may not just get any of these anymore. So I've had more luck with Tradescantia plants are good too. I know some desert plants at least. Tradescantia, not all Tradescantias are desert. There are some, but you just put them on the dirt and they'll grow. Alright, that looks pretty good. That one wasn't as difficult as the other ones. Certainly not as difficult as the other ones. Alright, now that one's in there. And then after watering them today, I probably won't have to water them for another few weeks. Alright. Let's get some sticks in there. Let's get some sticks going. I found these twigs outside, and I brushed them off, and they should be fine. Alright, and this will help too in case it climbs. They'll give it some extra support, and they're not really all that sharp at all, so you don't have to worry about the tarantula harming itself. But adding twigs it's looking really great. Hope you guys can see that. See a little bit of it at least. There we go. Just a little bit. And then I will add some pictures and either try and put it up on my channel or put it up on Instagram or my TikTok. You can follow me on TikTok, The Tarantula King. I post pretty much all my tarantula stuff there like all the time because I noticed it's a lot easier than YouTube. That's why I wasn't on YouTube for a while. I wasn't on YouTube for at least 6-7 months because I kind of just gave up on the videos. But I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna try again. I know I can do this. So I ended up doing it. So before and this, I'll show you what's looking like over here. Looking like down there, it's looking pretty good. I'm gonna add a couple more though. Just a couple more twigs. So love these ones that I got. Alright, so we got this one. We can probably put this one over here. Maybe have it crisscross. We could have this one crisscross maybe. Or we could just have it right here. Nah. Sometimes this can be fun, sometimes it could be... Sometimes it can look like the idea of what you want the enclosure to want isn't always like what you expected, so you get a little frustrated. But so far so good. I just got to rearrange some stuff. But yeah, she's gonna love this, even though she's kind of mad at me right now for taking her out, but it's fine. I'm gonna break this off actually, just a little bit. I'm putting it in the front. Putting this one in the front might work. Nah. We'll have this one here. Maybe go under this thing. Oh yeah, that'll work. That works. There we are. And any new people watching this, feel free to like and subscribe. More subscribers the better. I think I'm at like 60 something now. It's kind of my fault for not being active on here for a bit, but more subscribers do help, and then recommending my channel. I'm gonna try and do more videos, mainly just like care tips and like how to like handle tarantulas and just tarantula stuff in general. Even though most people have already done it, figured I would do those kinds of videos as well for like any new beginners. And beginners in general, like tarantulas, they're great pets. Some like you can just do basic setups for them. Sometimes I do like fancier stuff, so I'll spend a little bit more money on them because I just like to go natural with them. It's really fun. Instead of just doing like a basic tank with dirt in it. Not that you can't do that. They are really, as far as like money saving goes, like a tarantula can be great, but if you want to try and go bioactive, it can be a tad bit more pricey unless like you just do like the regular like gardening stuff. You can use topsoil and place in. You could also use potting compost, but just be careful what you use. Like anything that, as long as it doesn't have pesticides in it, it's fine, or insecticides. If it says plant food, most of the time it's okay. If anyone's ever seen Dave's Little Beasties, he even says that like plant food doesn't harm your tarantulas. You just gotta mainly just get the cheap stuff most of the time, just to be safe. You can even use like a cricket or some kind of feeder to test that, in case you're really worried about using it at first. But if you want to go for some more fancier stuff, then you're more welcome to do that as well. Alright, that's looking pretty good. Those plants will grow over there. Let me see if I have any more twigs. Well, I got this stick here. Hang on. Probably put this one in front. Just making sure to give her a good amount of anchor points in case she starts climbing. That way if she gets stuck, these sticks will help her out. She can use these to grip onto stuff. There we go. I think I can put this stick somewhere else. Actually, you know what? I don't think I'll use that one. I don't think I'll use this one. Might not use it. Sometimes there's stuff that you plan to use, but you don't end up needing it. Sometimes that can be a little bit annoying, but it's fine. I'll try and get you in there. It's fun seeing the webs they leave behind like on the sticks too. Like that's really fun to watch. Let's try and get you under here. That might work. That might do it. Don't want to accidentally break it though. I kind of liked it when you were over the stick there. As you can see, sometimes changes have to be either like you just experiment most of the time with this kind of stuff. Do I really need this stick in here? I can probably start it from the back here. Yeah, I can start from the back. I just gotta bury it under there a little bit. Now this type of tarantula, the Arizona Ebony, this would be a great beginner or any kind of desert tarantula, or even like a Grimsel, like a rosehair tarantula. But they're not as available. I was lucky to get one a few weeks ago. They're just not bred anymore most of the time. That's why. But either this tarantula or any kind of like beginners, any kind of terrestrials, like New World terrestrials would be good options. This might be a good ad. I'm just trying to figure out where to put it. Where to put you. Sometimes it's really cool to get these twigs here to overlap. So that creates like a really good desert appearance. It's really fun. There we go, that might work. Sometimes it's a mix of problem solving and thinking outside the enclosure. Alright, let's go there. Maybe this one will just stand like that. That's fine. That'll work. Maybe you can go back there. You can go under this one, maybe. That'll work. Yeah, I'll do it. She'll probably break some of these, but that's alright. Alright. You guys get a good look at that one. Good look at some stuff that's going on here. So yeah, I got the plants back here. Water dish, I'll fill up sooner or later. And then she'll go down in there, make a burrow. And then I hope to see her like sitting out there, like under the light here. This light's called Thrive Ecosystem lights. They're really great lights. They give off a bit of heat, which helps with evaporation. But they're like a fancy version, like a T8. They give off like this LED light, but plants will do very well in this. All right. Now my GoPro's running on low battery, so without further ado, let's get this tarantula in here. So let me see if I can angle this. Oh, there we go. Let me see if I can put it there. That'll work. All right, sweetie. I honestly thought of naming this one Ebony. It's kind of lazy, but I couldn't think of anything else. Yeah, you're ready to get out of here, huh? I'm trying to get this let off. Come on. Come on. Come on. Alright. Make sure you guys see that. Alright, you guys see her? There you go. She's pretty. There we go. Alright. There we are. Now, sometimes you can just let tarantulas walk right in. Or you can give them like a little nudge, but most of the time it's good to let them walk in on their own. That way they won't be as stressed. But right now we can just give her a little bit of a nudge. Yeah, here we go, come on. Now this one will raise its abdomen up sometimes, but other than that, these types of tarantulas aren't very aggressive. They're more of hair kickers than they are aggressive, but sometimes they can have mood swings, but most of the time these guys are pretty docile. And she's gonna go right in there. Alright. Thank you guys. Hang on a second, let me adjust this. There we are. Alright, that's her. She'll start webbing around in there, getting used to the environment. But alright guys, that is it. Thanks for watching. And then I'll try and make... I'll probably do another video of redoing my smithy enclosure. Yeah. So that's what I'll do next. Yeah, she's right in there, in the back there. Because she needs redone because this mold's starting to grow in there a little bit. But yeah, that's it guys. Thanks for watching. Like I said, my channel name is Ethan's Crazy Eights. And I also have a link in my description on Instagram, but I will put links to those halogen lamps that I mentioned and the temp gun. And yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you all have a good day. Yeah, see you guys.